So today I'm going to tell you you should buy Microsoft stock. Microsoft stock is the stock you should buy for a variety of reasons. Microsoft has web services they sell people. They're number 2 in web services and back of Amazon. They're ahead of IBM in web services. So Microsoft also just bought Activision. Microsoft wants to be part of the metaverse. They want to create content for the metaverse, and that's why there's a lot of different parts of Microsoft that should grow moving forward. But I think that they're working on the metaverse. They have web services. They sell different things for businesses and stuff. They're a growth company. Microsoft is a growth company. They didn't grow for a while. And the reason Microsoft didn't grow for a while is the same reason Amazon might not grow for a while right now, is because the government kind of puts a cap on how much a company can grow for a while. And in the early 2000s, the late 90s, the government put a cap on how much Microsoft could grow, which Amazon might face too right now. And the government might start to try to break up Amazon. And the more of a cap they put on Amazon, the more opportunities that gives Microsoft, because then Microsoft will have more ways they can grow moving forward. So if the government says, oh, Amazon's a monopoly, well, that will give Microsoft a chance to grow as a tech company. And maybe Microsoft could even be the biggest tech company if the government, when there's too much regulations on Amazon, then that gives Microsoft the opportunity. In the same way, when there's too much regulations on Microsoft in the early 2000s, that gave Apple an opportunity, and Apple dominated the smartphone market. The reason why Apple dominated the smartphone market is because Microsoft wasn't really allowed to grow for a while. They had to divest their expenditures because they had to break up their company because the government told Microsoft to break up their company. That was why Apple dominated the smartphone market. Microsoft would have invested in smartphones, but the government wouldn't allow them to grow in that way. But that could benefit Microsoft now, because now they can buy Activision. Now that the radar is off Microsoft and on Amazon, Microsoft should be able to grow to catch up to where Amazon is. That's why Microsoft has been growing a lot the past few years. They've had a lot of opportunities because the government hasn't been on their backs. So they can grow in a lot of different areas. They can dominate the metaverse. They can maybe, there's also regulations on Facebook too. There's a lot of government regulations on Facebook where, from a social media perspective, which Microsoft isn't going to, the government's not going to be breathing down Microsoft's back in the way they're breathing down Facebook's back and the way they're breathing down Amazon's back. And that's going to give Microsoft a big opportunity. I think... So because the government have a careful, watchful eye on Facebook and Amazon, that gives Microsoft the opportunity to move ahead. That gives Microsoft the green light to grow as a company. I think Microsoft is going to be one of the biggest tech companies moving forward. They're obviously already one of the biggest tech companies. Will they be able to compete with Google from a smartphone perspective? No, probably not. But Microsoft does make some smartphones. They're not that popular, but they could get better at it. Microsoft could get better at smartphones. They could catch up to where Apple is, and they have a lot of money to invest. They're like IBM, and they're like a lot of other tech companies. They have a lot of money to invest in the latest tech trends going forward. They tried to buy TikTok, right? They tried to buy TikTok when Donald Trump says TikTok has to sell to a U.S. company. Microsoft tried to buy TikTok, and I'm not saying that worked or anything like that, but Microsoft has a lot of money to invest because they're making a lot of money right now. I think they have a small dividend as well, which is always good. But they have so much money to invest in all these different ideas that there's a lot of different areas where Microsoft can grow. And also Google is another company where the government's saying, look, Google, you can't grow that much moving forward because you're like a monopoly. So Microsoft can start eating into Google's territory. I know they have Bing. Bing is not the biggest thing in the world, but if another company can pop up moving forward, like TikTok or whatever, Microsoft could buy them, could buy, not TikTok in particular, but a company like TikTok. Microsoft's like bought Activision, right? They have the green light to buy these little company or smaller companies that are doing big things. And I think Activision was a good purchase for Amazon, for Microsoft, because Activision allows Microsoft to make even more video games. Microsoft already makes a lot of video games with the Xbox, and Xbox can grow even more with Activision. Now, the problem is Activision makes a lot of cross-platform games, and they make a lot of PC games, and PC games don't naturally translate to Xbox. And cross-platform games like Call of Duty or Overwatch aren't going to give Xbox some dominant position in the market. So it's a rough thing as far as like what will Activision actually do for Microsoft. In a lot of ways, it won't do that much, but it's just content. It's just more content that Microsoft can dominate. Activision was a declining video game company because a lot of their stuff wasn't getting rave reviews. A lot of the smartest people on Activision were leaving the company. Call of Duty was a declining product because Fortnite was beating Call of Duty, and Fortnite was beating Overwatch, and Overwatch was another big Activision property. Now, I'm not saying that the Activision purchase was that good a purchase. I'm just saying that Microsoft has money to spend. They've got money to blow. They've got so much money. They've got money to spend on whatever they want. So they bought a video game company because Microsoft makes video games. So they bought the biggest video game company in the world. Activision was the biggest video game company. Well, I guess Sony's another one, but Activision was one of the biggest video game companies in the world that Microsoft bought. So that's a smart investment. When you've got money to blow, you need to reinvest in your video game properties, your video game assets. Make your video game assets bigger, and that's just smart business. To me, Microsoft is making all the right moves and making all the right plays. That's why I think you should invest in Microsoft stock, because they're a smart company. I think their CEO is doing a good job right now. They're going to have mistakes, Activision is not going to make them that much money moving forward because Activision is kind of declining. Their Activision was bigger like 10, 20 years ago than they are now. They were big with like Tony Hawk and Rock Band. But the fun thing about Activision is they come up with new ideas and they turn those ideas into products. So I think Activision will pay off a little bit moving forward for Microsoft. But Microsoft has so much money, they can buy whatever they want. They're going to buy other companies like Activision that's worth 50 cents for every dollar they spend on it. It's not worth as much money they spend, but neither is MGM for Amazon or whatever. You know what I mean? Microsoft is going to dominate the computing market moving forward. Not dominate it, but it's going to do well with computers moving forward. Computers are a growth field. They're a growth industry. And the people in Microsoft have their head in the game on which things are going to do well moving forward. That's why I think Microsoft knows what they're doing. They work with... Did they buy Slack? Did Microsoft buy Slack, or did they try to buy Slack? I don't remember. But point being, I think Microsoft has their head on straight. I think they know what they're doing. That's why you should buy Microsoft stock. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Microsoft is a good investment or a bad investment? Please tell me in the comments below what you think of Microsoft stock. Please subscribe to this channel to be part of the community. And please like this video. It really helps out the channel a lot. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.